My name is Teri, and this is Royson, and we are the opposite of, and we like to read Reddit stories and talk about them. So, this intro is going to be a little bit of a longer one, so if you want to skip straight to the stories, here's the timestamp right there on the screen. But anyway, so we were gonna upload another video about like a month ago. It's been almost. It was supposed to go up several weeks ago.
Yeah,
I don't know
weeks,
if it's been a month, but it was supposed to go up several weeks ago.
Yeah.
We ended up having to scrap that video. So we're gonna take the stories that we read that we were gonna read and then read them later when we've had more time to like forget about them a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was gonna be about revenge, and I'm gonna have to wait. Sad.
Yep.
But
luckily, though, it was because of audio issues, and we've now upgraded, as you can see, 2 nice mics.
Yes, we had.
That's great.
Yeah, we had 2 different types of mics that we were trying to balance. One of them was a USB, and man, so yeah, we've upgraded the mics. We've upgraded many things. Roy, one of the reasons I was going to say we haven't uploaded in a few weeks, even though we were attempting to do weekly, because Roy got a new job.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it in one of the previous episodes. But yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, Roy got a new job, and I don't remember if we mentioned it in the one that went up or the one that got messed up.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roy has a new job, and so it's more hours than we're used to, and it's like an hour away. So it was a little bit of an adjustment to get used to the hours and find a time to actually do the recording and everything. So hopefully we're going to be back to weekly, but life is life, and he works a 5-day-a-week job, and he works a full day on Saturday as well, at a different job. So like Roy doesn't have a whole lot of time to devote to doing these episodes. So if we miss some here or there, don't think that we like stopped. We literally really want to do this, and we find it a lot of fun. But anyway, other things that changed is my hair. I haven't been a brunette in so many years.
I think it's like before high school almost, or like a high school. Yeah.
No. I was a brunette in 2019. I still don't have my natural hair. This is very close to my natural hair, but it's a little warmer. It's got a little more orange and red in it. Which is totally cool. I think it's a really nice vibe, because if I was going to do something with my hair, like natural, this is very similar to what I would want, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's funny because me and my friend Victoria, we were looking, she's like, oh my gosh, your hair is like, sorry. She was like, oh my gosh, your hair is the exact same shade as mine. She went like this. I was like, that's actually really funny. Yeah, we have the same hair, kind of, except hers is curly.
Is this like, how many steps away from your natural hair is this? Like, this is pretty much your natural hair color?
I have a month of growth and you can't see it.
Okay,
so
yeah,
it's really close.
Yeah.
I think the only difference is it's got some goldeny red tones.
Like you mean the new hair or your natural
yes.
hair? Okay.
That's really the only difference. So a lot of people, it looks very, very natural, and that's what I really wanted, because it's so sad. Like, after you've had vivid hair for such a long time, like right in COVID time, 2020 is when I changed to vivid hair, and before that I was blonde for like 8 months. And you know what? I actually know how to take care of my hair, so I could go blonde again.
That would be fun.
I know how to take care of it now. But the issue is when you have vivid hair in, everything fades that sucker. And so you can't use a lot of those really fancy products that will save your hair. I'm on a tangent. But
yeah, a lot of this is going over my head.
This might be fun for some people. When you have vivid hair, it's different. It's just different than this type of dye. And so it fades very quickly. Excuse me. I don't know why I have burps. I'm so sorry. It fades very quickly. So... but a lot of like professional products that are meant to repair your hair, cleanse your scalp, all of those things, they are very harsh for dyed hair, and they make your hair fade much quicker.
Yeah.
So I was avoiding a lot of those stuff. Now I don't have to avoid those things. And then really cool thing, I'm a licensed nail technician, and so I am allowed to buy professional hair care.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that awesome? I'm like, so cool. Like that's like a
I'm so
that's
cool.
like I don't know why. I don't know why, but they let me buy professional hair care, like professional only stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm allowed to buy professional esthetician stuff, which is there's not a much in the stores that I've seen. It's mostly hair.
Yeah.
And then I'm allowed to buy like the hair products, like the dyes that are professional only. I'm allowed to buy all that stuff. So I'm like, heck yeah.
I imagine it's gonna mostly be because they do not have like the capability to like keep up with you have this specific beauty license, so you can only buy these specific products, because then they'd have to like separate it down different stores or like having the whole thing.
Actually, I don't know if that's it, because originally she was like, oh yeah, she's like, with your manicurist license, you're only allowed to buy like the hair, like shampoos, that kind of stuff. You can't buy the dye. And
Okay,
then she
so
was
there's
like,
levels.
right. She was like, oh, you're actually listed under cosmetology, so you're allowed to buy the dye too.
Oh well, okay. Someone did something wrong probably, but sure, we're gonna take it.
Like, I've been told this in general, and a lady that I used to work with, she actually works at one of those stores, and so she told us that. So I knew ahead of time that was a thing.
Okay.
So it's not a mistake, but it is really cool.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
anyway, that's just my little happy thing.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
for me. What else happened while we were away?
What did else happen?
I've been sick. I'm pretty sure we have mold in our vents / AC ever since Beryl hit us, because we live in Houston, and so ever since Beryl hit, I think that the AC has grown some mold, because we did have a window break during the storm. And the house got very muggy for a while. And ever since then, I've had increasingly bad breathing problems.
Yeah. And the house is already kind of old anyway. So, like, it was kind of one of those, like, it's probably on the edge of just being okay. It didn't need much to...
Yeah, it's like 40 years old. And so, 45 years old, I think. So, I'm actually allergic to mold. So, Roy hasn't really been affected that much, and neither has his brother who lives with us. And so, I'm literally allergic to mold. And so, it's really affecting me really bad. Like, I literally, 10 minutes before we started, I started not being able to breathe, because I'm pretty sure the AC is coming down right above us. And I'm sitting here starting to film, and I'm like, I can't breathe. So Roy's going to be reading the stories in case that starts happening to me again. Right now, I'm okay. I took my inhaler like right before we started this episode.
Yeah.
And it took like 10, 15 minutes to start up. But I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So,
This is also a nice excuse for me to read her stories, which is what I wanted to do anyway.
Yes. Also, do you have anything? I have one last thing to say, but do you have anything to say?
I don't think so. I'm just more excited. But
Okay. My last thing to say is check out our bracelets.
Is it doing it? Oh, there it goes.
I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little heart magnet that touches us together because we're cutesy like that. Okay. So the theme of this episode, especially, sorry, I flubbed that. The theme of this episode is marriages. It's all just people who are married together, people who are, I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but basically I wanted it all to be about married couples. It might not be with them specifically, but married couples are in this story.
Yeah. So essentially she's decided to post a bunch of posts on Reddit and then have me read them.
Yes, so I found all of these stories and Roy gets to read them for us. And I guess don't forget to say like what Reddit they're from.
Yeah.
When you read it. He hasn't
my
read
first
them
time reading, so we'll see
time.
if I do it all right.
The other thing is, by the way, please like and subscribe if you would like to, please. And also, we will have the links to the stories in our description. We'll also have my brain is rotting right now.
We'll also have a like a little form, like a Google form, if you'd like to submit any stories for us to read specifically.
Yes, if you find any fun stories, or if you even find just fun subreddits, that would be cool. I guess let's get into it.
Sweet. This is going to be from Best of Redditor Updates. And so this is originally from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not making him food after his work wife kept making him food? Which was, yeah, already in trouble.
Who's in trouble? The work wife or him?
Him, because there is a work wife. That's a problem. I mean, yeah, there's a question of, is he acknowledging that there's a work wife? Then immediately there's an issue. Who knows? We're about to find out, I guess. So this is a post from August 7th. Oh, so still recent. Okay.
Yeah, I found this weeks ago when we were supposed to it was brand new.
Yeah.
What last time?
This
Anyway,
is super
sorry,
new,
side
yeah.
note.
Me, female 27, and my husband, male 34, have been married for 3 years, but were dating 4 years prior. He recently got a promotion in his company and moved to a different department. In this department, he recently started interacting with female 24. I dislike her and have from the start. Nice. Every time I'm there, she makes sure to call him her work husband. Or she will do simple things such as making him food or giving him extra tight hugs. But my breaking point was last week when he had come home with the food I made him. When I asked him why his lunch bag was still full of what I had made him in the morning, he said that female 24 had made him food and he didn't want to seem rude and waste it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many issues. So I ignored it till he threw away the food I made him. I woke up at 6 a.m. just to make him his favorite food, but ever since then, this has been happening every day.
Oh, wait, hold up. His favorite food? See, okay, up until she said that, I was like, well, I could see Roy doing this because you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess.
But
there's like, yeah, would I? Man,
I do think you would, which is funny because
okay,
you were
not
like,
the work wife part. Holy crap, definitely not.
I've made my boundaries clear about your work wives.
That they should not exist.
Yep.
But like also, yeah, I mean, I guess there have been times where like I brought food, but I didn't really want that food, and so I just chose to go out instead.
That's very different.
Yeah, this one is like you have food. And like, oh, I don't want to seem rude to my coworker, so I'll be rude as fuck to my wife. Okay, sure. Okay, anyway, so till today, I decided to not make him lunch. He came downstairs in the morning to me making breakfast and asked me where his lunch was. I said I didn't make him one because it was going to go to waste anyway. He started arguing that I was being petty over a little thing, but I tried to discuss how I felt and he went over it. So, am I the asshole for not making him food? Yeah, I think that's
the end of the story. I know there's updates
for not making him. Yeah, I mean,
well,
yeah.
Okay.
It seems like okay. This is consistently. If I'm making food and you're throwing it away, why would I make you food? And it's also like I'm having to wake up early to do this for you. Like this isn't like I just like made a sandwich in like 2 minutes or like here's some leftovers. So like to go through making the food and then for him to just come back home and be like, no, I'm good, and throw it away is stupid. That's like super food waste anyway. So,
well, here's my take on it: is I don't think it's a problem that she didn't want to make him food anymore. I think the problem lies in the fact that she is acting just as mean girl, and not mean girl, but like high school teenage maturity level of as the girl at work. Does that make sense? The reason I say that is because if you're just randomly deciding I'm not going to make you food, let him know ahead of time. But you're trying to punish him. You're not saying, look, honey, I'm not comfortable with this. She keeps bringing you food and you're not taking what I'm making you. I don't like that.
This was her version of bringing it up by like.
Right. It's making me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't want to make you food anymore. It makes me feel bad when you don't eat it. So I'm not going to make you food anymore. No, she chose the punishment route, which is immature. So I think just that simple act of her explaining how she feels and saying something along the lines of that would change the story completely. Yeah. So no, she's not an asshole for what she's stating, but she is an asshole for springing it on him and trying to punish him, because that to me takes her down to the same level as like the girl at work.
Not the same
who's
level.
Being an ass.
I wouldn't say anywhere close to the same level. I don't know. I mean, this is the, further proof I'm toxic. But like, I feel like it's yeah, you did something because you're upset. But you have a very good reason to be upset. And also like, it makes sense in terms of like, I've literally been cooking food for you, and you just kind of ignored the fact that like you're just coming home and throwing away the food that I've cooked over and over again. So that should have kind of been a thing that he picks up on in some way or another, instead of him just glazing over it like, whatever, you know? So there's still a part of me that's like, if it had to get to the point of her being upset enough to do that, and it's not like she's like doing something abusive. It's not hard for like, okay, this dude could probably just get his own lunch if it turned out that he didn't have lunch from his wife.
Yeah.
So
From his perspective, it's probably like, what the heck?
Yeah. At
Like,
the
I
most,
don't
maybe
understand.
he got caught off guard.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's his way of learning. I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand from his perspective. He's probably like, what? Like, this girl's not... She probably has a crush on him, the girl at work. I mean, maybe we shouldn't make assumptions, but it does kind of seem like a crushy thing to do. And if you're purposely calling yourself work wife multiple times when your wife is around, like, I understand, like, if I came to your workplace and somebody was joking, haha, like, I'm his work husband, I'm his work wife. Like, in context, if it made sense, it wouldn't be a big deal. If it would happen, like, once or something, you know what I mean? But if every time you go there, they make a point to bring up like that they're your work wife. That's
there's
weird.
There's also the like there's the difference between the verbal joke and then physical follow up, which is like the tight hugs and stuff is now you're just purposely trying to like make things jealous or something. It's not a joke anymore. That's like her actually being like sus, I guess.
Right. And assuming she's a reliable narrator, you know, some people are not very truthful. They extrapolate, or not extrapolate, they expand on the truth, you know. But assuming she's telling the truth for what it is, she really should have said something to him and voiced how uncomfortable it made her. But in the case of if that she did, then no, she's not an asshole for this, because like I wouldn't want to make him lunch anymore either, because you're making him a lunch because it's his favorite thing, and you want him to feel cute and open his little lunchbox and be like, oh, you know what I mean? All the mushy mushies.
Yeah,
you want to be
real.
the mushy mushy. And he's taking your mushy mushy and throwing it in the garbage, quite literally.
Yeah.
So, not the asshole. Next story.
Yeah. But yeah, then
What was the
there's one of the
verdict?
comments, but it's still apparently the verdict was no consensus.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Okay.
oh wait, no.
Well,
MISL
what are
has
the
no consensus spot.
Oh yeah, there are updates.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking over you, but it's because I'm excited because I forgot this was best of order updates. Okay.
So yeah, there's lots of things to this. For one, okay, so it says that there's no consensus spot, but yeah, the original poster was not the asshole. So
Tell me the comments.
I'm gonna say one. There's a few different ones here, but just the one before the update. It's kind of like the main. It's like what I think about is like who's hugging on their coworker in front of their significant other or at all in the first place. I think you need to sit down and have a real frank conversation with your husband, because if the shoe was on the other foot, he would not like you doing any of this, which is super real. Let's see. Small update on my last post. Same day, 3 hours later. Me and him are going to talk when he gets back home, but I did talk to him a little before he went into the shower. He just got mad when I asked if I could see his text between her, which ended in him getting defensive and saying that if I trusted him, I wouldn't need to. I may bring up the option of divorce, but I need to figure out the financial situation first. I have a job, but it barely even pays. But until then, I'm going to start packing up my stuff little by little, talking to a divorce attorney and figuring out where to go from there. But I won't tell me and him have the talk. But thank you to everyone who has let me open up on this a little bit. Yeah.
Wait, what? I feel like we missed some comments. Were people? No, people were suggesting otherwise. They would just be like, "Look, there's more to this story."
Yeah.
So she's trying to delve, and he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And ooh, I don't like that. It's so crazy because it's like I just want to read the conversation to get more context. I'm not accusing you of cheating. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No, if you trusted me, you wouldn't need to see." That's not necessarily how it works.
Even still, like, there's always the idea of if I'm accusing you of cheating, and like this is kind of, I mean, there's different ways of saying this, but it's more like I feel like you're cheating on me, but if I could see this thing, it would make me feel better and like not make me feel this way. And he's like, no, you should just not feel that way anyway. Anyway, my work wife is cooking me lunch, and then we're gonna go hugs. Like, what is that even? I don't know. That seems.
And then I had a really rock hard thing in my pants.
Pretty much.
I had to excuse myself to the restroom later.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that really jumped. I did not think this was divorce worthy.
I mean, okay, so I guess that one of the comments, it's still like a bunch of comments. I kind of thought this was more just a part of it anyway. But
no, you're supposed to read the comments the people said.
There's a bunch of comments. I want to read them all. Okay, so one of them. Wait, is this? No. You. This is just all the post. Okay. One of them is the food isn't the issue here. Clearly, there are so many Reddit stories that started with the work wife providing OP's ex-husband with food. There was even one where the work wife told the pregnant wife that the husband liked her cooking better, so she'd better watch out, or she'd be taking her husband. That wife ended up being having to co-parent with her ex-husband, and the work wife he ended up marrying. So yeah, there's things like that of like there's definitely plenty of stories of like, oh, it's just the work wife who makes me food, and then like that turns into a whole scandal.
See, I try to be a girl's girl. Why on earth would you ever want to steal somebody else's husband? I've seen a lot of people phrase this on TikTok as like I view that person's husband / boyfriend as an extension of them, not as a real person, which is kind of messed up. But like, you see the point of like I have several friends. I'm like, hey, like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't talk to their boyfriends. I wouldn't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if they have like a hot boyfriend, you know what I mean, or husband. It's like,
yeah, no, there's just a lot of people who don't respect relationships, so then they just kind of do what they want. And if anything, there's some people who probably enjoy it more.
Oh, that's so true.
There's the whole thing too of like people in relationships are often found more attractive, and then because of that, some people just don't care about the fact that they're in a relationship to like go through and still flirt with them and all this stuff.
It's like, well, somebody else wants them, so they must be worth something.
That's
what a lot of people are, and like it's toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic.
Whoever this other girl is super toxic for sure.
We're gonna have to mute me screaming toxic really loud. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. We're probably muting. Oh, no, we didn't have that at the beginning. The audio test where she was screaming. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sorry. We'll put it in real quick. Cover your ears. I learned a word yesterday. Toxic in Spanish. Toxica. Real
so
thing.
fluent
Real
in
thing.
Spanish. That's crazy.
I was like, what does your shirt say? And she's like telling me all the words. I was like, toxica? She's like, just toxic.
Yeah. Like, why'd you ask? It's so
like,
dumb.
oh, okay.
It's so obvious.
I had to ask her what chisme was. I had to ask her I asked her lots of things. Now that I have more friends that speak Spanish, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should like be a little bit better in Spanish.
That's funny. Okay. I need help.
Need help. He needs help. He needs professional help.
That's separate. Okay, I think I figured it out.
That's gonna be our theme song from now on. He needs
marriages.
help.
Okay, work
He
wife.
needs help. He needs professional
There's
help.
4 more stories. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway. Click.
Damn. He's an ass. He's a toxica.
Am I the asshole? Just kidding. The answer is just yes.
Is it supposed to be toxico?
For men, toxic, I guess.
I don't think that's how it works.
Which also, dang, they gave toxic a feminine trait. That's crazy.
Toxica? I don't know if that really makes any sense, sir. Anyway, next story, please.
Am I the asshole for calling my wife fat?
I just found this one today. Okay, get ready.
Also, it's hilarious that it's from the user fatwifeTAA or fatwifeTAA.
That's the user.
Yeah,
He probably made this just for that. Then.
Yeah. That's my
so
guess.
funny.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, why would he call his wife fat? Ew, that's disgusting. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
terrible.
Go on.
All right.
I'm too excited.
I, 34 male, work in a physically demanding field. Myself and my coworkers are all fit people without a lot of body type variety. My wife, 32 female, is fat.
I died when I read that too. He's just so nonchalant about it. My wife, brackets 32F, is fat.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
The thing is, she's always been fat. The whole time I've known her, we dated when she was fat. We got married when she was fat. She knows she's fat. She's
Me
fat.
too.
And she's beautiful.
Me too.
Fair enough. I'm happy if she loses weight, and I'm happy if she stays where she is. I think she's the most beautiful woman in the world as is. Okay, saving yourself a
So
little bit here.
sweet.
We'll see where this goes.
Not where I thought this was going.
For real. One of my coworkers, Julia, 28 female, started complaining that she's too far to be loved and fat people don't get to be complaining that she's too fat to be loved.
Too fat to be loved.
And fat people don't get to be loved. Julia isn't fat. She's maybe 120 pounds.
Damn.
I honestly have no context when it comes to...
Classic.
What do you mean classic? Oh, like the skinny person who's like, oh, I'm
person in the room being like, I'm so fat. Literally, you're weigh like 40, 50 pounds more than them, sometimes a lot more than that. And they're like, I'm so fat. And then you're just like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, to be fair, people like that are obviously like very, what's the word when like, no matter what, body dysmorphia. Like, yeah, that's literally just body dysmorphia at that point.
Yes, sort of. But also, like, you have no idea how many people say that.
What?
Say stuff like that in front of somebody way bigger than them.
Oh yeah,
and talk about how scared they are.
Yeah,
and that's fat.
That's body dysmorphia.
It's like literally my entire existence is your worst nightmare. Thanks. Thanks. Thought we were friends.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I'm off topic, but
she's a little mad about this. All right, so she's maybe 120 pounds. She works out 5 times a week and barely ever eats. That's weird.
That's also yeah,
that's a whole other
dysmorphia,
issue.
Yep.
I told her that wasn't true and that my wife was fat. She got really red in the face and started telling me I wasn't allowed to call my wife fat and I was insulting her and that my wife was beautiful and curvy. Carol doesn't like being called curvy. Okay, I don't know if we just name dropped his wife now. Carol doesn't like being called curvy. She thinks it's a label used to avoid calling people fat because it's a dirty word to most people. I told Julia as much. Julia started threatening to tell my wife I called her fat. She pulled up her Instagram and told me she was messaging Carol that I was being mean. I beat her to the punch and called my wife, put her on speaker, and asked if she was curvy or fat. Carol laughed and said, I hate that curvy shit. Fat and beautiful, baby. I thanked her, told her I loved her, and hung up. As soon as I hit end, Julia went mental. She started screaming that I was abusing my wife. When I asked how, she said I was clearly brainwashing her into accepting the term fat. Julia sounds so messed. Okay. Yeah, she said I was clearly brainwashing her into accepting the term fat to try to keep her complacent and from getting away from me. That no woman in her right mind could be okay with their husband calling them fat. I showed her a picture of my wife in a shirt that had BBW on it. She thought it for her. Oh, she bought it for herself, by the way.
BBW?
Yep. Big, beautiful woman, if people don't know.
Yeah.
She stormed off and hasn't spoken to me since. The coworker. Yeah. Anyway. Now, I just walked in today to an email from HR requesting a meeting with me. What? I don't think it's a big deal. I have my wife's blog for fat positivity, the shirt, and can easily call her for proof. But now things are frigid at work, and Julia constantly gives me dirty looks when we're in the same room. She ignores me otherwise. So I'm just over here scratching my head. Am I the asshole for calling my wife fat? What the heck? Holy crap.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yes. And there's more with the update too, apparently about the HR meeting. Before that though, yeah, what? Okay. So I guess this is one of the things of like, you know, you've learned to take the word fat and not make it a negative connotation, and so that's fine. So it does make the beginning that seems like it's really bad actually be completely okay. And then turns it more on its head of like, hey, these people have kind of accepted it and like what, you know, how they are and like this. But like Julia over here is like so against like fat and like refuses to like think that anyone could be happy when they're fat because she's probably barely happy in her own body. That'd be my guess based off of her complaining like this. And she's making it someone else's problem, which is crazy. So it's probably going to take her. I think it's also she's going to refuse to accept this because it's going to take her years of therapy for her to like realize that someone can be happy without having the perfect body for whatever's in their head.
I have a lot to say about that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So people like that, they cannot accept that someone who is that way could love themselves and view themselves well, and that other people could view them that way as well, in a positive, like romantic, all of those adjectives, beautiful, sexy, those kinds of things. They cannot accept it because guess what? If the issue is not the fatness and you still feel like a piece of shit,
it's probably because
then it might just, then you have to address the fact that you just feel like shit about yourself. Not that you think, oh, I'm fat, I need to lose 10 pounds and I'll feel good about myself. Maybe you just don't feel good about yourself. And that's why you need therapy. I know this is very mean. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be sensitive about this, but I'm coming from the perspective of the person who deals with the opposite end of the spectrum. And it's very frustrating on my side of it too, when everybody thinks that if I reference the fact that I'm fat, which I am fat, I have been fat pretty much my entire life, starting when I was like 16. Before that, I was like, you could argue chubby, but like I've been fat for a long time. And every time I reference the fact that I'm fat, because it does affect your life. And so sometimes you need to reference the fact that you're fat because maybe like the chair that they're bringing is way too small. Have you ever been to freaking NRG Stadium? That shit is painful. And so like you have to address the fact sometimes that you're fat. And it is a neutral concept, it's a neutral term. Fat does not equate ugly. Fat does not equate stupid. Fat does not equate any of those negative connotations. Fat only equates to I am in a bigger body with a lot of excess like fat on it. Like cellulite, whatever you want to call that. That's the only thing that fat means.
Cellulite?
Well, cellulite's a little different, but you know what I mean? Have like extra weight on me that's not muscle. Because obviously that's different.
Yeah.
And like every time I reference myself as fat, they'll be like, oh, you're not fat, you're pretty. But like, well, I didn't call myself ugly. They'll be like, oh, you're not fat, you're just curvy. No, nobody calls me curvy because I have a very small booty. No, but they'll be like, oh, you're not fat, you're just fluffy. I'm like, no, I'm fat. Like, calm down. Anyway, so it's just a button for me a little bit, but it is something that I feel like it's really important to understand. Is like being fat, yes, it has a lot of downsides, but it is not a moral failure or something that makes you immediately ugly. Yeah. It is not obviously like, you know what I mean? And, you know, I don't have to pull out that age-old trope of like, well, there's somebody for everybody, because it's like,
there's lots
that's not even how it works necessarily. It's just like, they don't have to be ugly. I'm rambling at this point. But my point is made. Like, my point has been made.
Yeah. It doesn't have to necessarily be like, oh, if you're fat, then the only way you can find love is if someone who has a fetish for it. Like, that's not a thing. Like,
or have you noticed in like movies, like the side character, they'll have like an ugly fat friend or like something like that. And the ugly fat friend is only allowed to ever marry like an other ugly fat person, which, you know, there's variations of this obviously, but that shit pisses me off real bad because that's not how it always is. Like, have you ever seen couples and you're like, wow, one of them is really attractive and one of them is ugly? I mean, I'm not accusing any certain person, like, but like, I'm just mean in general. Sometimes you'll be like, wow, okay, like that person's like good looking, and I mean like objectively, not like you find them good looking and
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yes.
I'm having a hard time staying on topic.
It's just more it's more to like, it's hilariously bad to look at a couple and be like, wow, that was ugly.
No. No, I mean, most of the time people are going to be judging like celebrities and stuff. Usually people are, I feel like reasonable people are not going around their friend group and being like, damn. Actually, no. Sometimes you'll get a friend, sometimes you'll be like, they start dating somebody and you're like, damn, that person's ugly. But then also less chance of us stealing him with our lunches at work. So
okay.
That's actually fine. It all rolls into one. Anyway, sorry, I probably took over, but
yes, and no, we haven't even done the update yet. So we still
update.
Yes. Okay.
Update.
Okay. Update time. So I met with HR at 4 today. Apparently, multiple coworkers who had overheard the conversation stopped by HR through the day to give their side or weigh in. What the heck? I wasn't in trouble. They just wanted my side of things. It checked out with what everyone else had said too. I still don't know which of my crew stopped by, but I owe them my life. I offered to show my... Oh, I guess it's like some people being like, hey, like this guy shouldn't be in trouble for whatever might happen. This is what went on.
Yeah,
because they probably saw
him.
Julia being like traumatized and like freaking out. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry to any Julias out there that are not the Julia in the story.
Oh yes, every single Julia is fat phobic and disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, and disgusting. We're just throwing that one in there. I offered to show my wife's blog, and our rep, who's a really nice girl, told me that if it didn't affect my work, it was irrelevant. The story had been corroborated enough by others. HR reiterated a lot of what y'all said. Even though Julia initiated the conversation, I shouldn't have jumped in. It was less of a scolding and more of a request to keep my nose out of other people's business.
That's fair.
I'm sad because I thought Julia and I were friends. We talked about our mental health struggles, the hardships of the field we're in, and heavy things like that. Won't be having those conversations any further. That kind of sucks.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He thought he had a friend and she turned out to be a giant bitch.
Julia and I will no longer be paired on teams for patient care. I was told my part in that investigation was done and thanked me for my time, so I think I'm going to be okay. Before I left, I told HR that if weight loss / body image wasn't supposed to be a topic of conversation, they should consider enforcing that on a company level. We have a weight loss challenge. I suggested making it a fitness challenge instead. She said they'd take it into consideration. Yeah. So that's it. I wrapped up my treatments. Everything will hopefully shake out. Haven't spoken to Julia, hoping to avoid her for the near future.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. 1 second. Oh, yeah. Thank you all for the sanity check. Now to quote Clue, I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Is that from Clue?
I guess so.
I guess that's a saying in Clue.
That's funny.
That's
Oh, wow. The difference between your wife and Julia is that your wife loves herself. Julia can't even pretend to.
That's what I was thinking is like, obviously she got triggered and she can't understand why somebody who's so much more awful in that way that she considers herself could possibly love themselves. Like,
Julia should get a better hobby because she sucks at fishing.
Fishing?
Fishing for compliments.
Oh, that's actually kind of funny. I didn't even think about it that way. But yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any more updates?
No, that was it.
Okay. Next story.
Wow. So, this is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up. Or
just say
TIFU.
Just say the word fucked. Today I fucked up.
Yeah. This is from r/Today I Fucked Up. Today I fucked up by getting caught by my wife about my lawn mowing scheme. What the fuck is that? All right. Let me preface this by saying that I really, really enjoy mowing my lawn.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. When I read this today, I thought that was supposed to be a euphemism for something, and he was gonna make this whole thing some sort of euphemism, like
it's like no, just straight up lawn mowing,
like smoking grass or something. No, he actually likes mowing his lawn.
This is a literal statement here. Okay.
They live in the country, by the way. Context.
Excuse me. We'll get to the context.
I'm sorry.
Ruining it. Okay. See, little Plush is upset too. All right. My wife and I bought our house 5 years ago, and ever since, mowing the lawn has just brought out this peace inside me. So much so that I sold our riding lawnmower and bought a push mower. That's crazy. There's something so calm and relaxing about mowing at about 6:30 p.m. on a summer day. The sound of the mower, the smell of the cut grass, and overall the world around me. Much of it reminds me of my kid days riding our bikes around in the neighborhood on summer evenings. Sometimes I listen to a podcast or music, but mostly it's just taking in the sounds of the outside. I like it so much that I will literally mow every 3 days. Even if the grass barely needs a cm taken off the top, I will mow. Oh, centimeter. Wow, I'm done.
I did that in my head earlier.
Even if the grass barely needs a centimeter taken off the top, I will mow. That's okay. That's a weird addiction. You know, interestingly enough, one of my coworkers had just told me about how he's also into like he actually enjoys mowing his lawn.
Maybe this is your coworker.
This is my coworker, except he's not married, but yeah, totally, it's my coworker.
Maybe
he lives in an apartment. He doesn't even have a lawn to mow. It's just like the times he does, he really likes it.
It's probably because his wife divorced him over this.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yep, definitely. Yep, totally telling him that. All right. My wife, however, thinks this is ridiculous. Fair. She thinks more than once every 7 to 10 days is absurd. She may be right, but it's not like I'm asking for much, as it takes a whole 90 minutes to push mow the entire yard. I'm essentially taking around 3 to 3.5 hours a week of Zen time, which is fair. It's like the task of like, it's a chore that doesn't need to be done, but it's, Zen is something that's nice. Man, where's this going to go? All right. I noticed over time as we would come home during the day, her way of gauging whether the lawn needed to be mowed was the length in the ditch at the mailbox. This is an area I tend to actually skip mowing and keep this particular area on a 1 to 1.5 week trim cycle. It's kind of a pain in the butt spot, and we are on the country road, so it isn't exactly a curb appeal factor. After noticing this, I started raising the deck height on the mower to keep the grass higher in that spot, and sure enough, she would keep saying how the grass would need to be mowed, which means I was good to go as usual on my 3-day mow cycle. This went well for 2 years until last night at dinner with friends. Drinks were flowing, laughs were being had, and our friend brought up mowing. The girl had this convo about men and their toys, yada yada, and during the laughs I blurted out to the male friend, just do what I do and purposely make an area seem longer than it is, which was met with the, wow, I'm so bad at English. Ruckus?
Ruckus? What?
I'm dumb. Raucous.
Raucous?
Okay, we're both dumb. Yes, cool. All right, validated. All right, which was met with a lot of laughter from all of us except my wife. After about 10 seconds of laughter, I felt this intense heat on the right side of my face. It's a very familiar heat, very distinct. Once I calmed down from my laughing, it said it instantly what I had just said. The heat I was feeling was the indescribable fury of her staring a hole through me. It was a very quiet night, and so far, a quiet morning. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a lot better of a, mowing scheme than I thought this was going to go. Edit, we have no kids or neighbors to piss off. Edit 2, we have essentially no other tasks. We are very routine with things. I cook every night, then load the dishwasher. Vacuuming takes care of itself, and we spot mop. I go to trash disposal on Saturday since we are rural with no trash pickup. We go to the grocery store together every Saturday. She does laundry on Saturdays. We work in the same office on the same schedule, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and obviously ride together every single day. Yeah, so that's kind of funny. That's super funny.
What stuck out to me is that they are very particular about their schedule. Mm-hmm. And they do all their chores and stuff. Dang.
I mean, this makes sense from the guy who finds it zen to mow his lawn. So obviously he's a little bit of a psycho. That's true.
It's psychotic to like chores. Yeah. There's a lawn mowing simulator.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I guess. Dang, that's crazy.
It's like a game you can buy.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's all the games like the power washing games and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's power washing games, there's cleaning games.
And it's just more for the satisfaction of just seeing the line go off, which I guess makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's just more the fact that you have to do the physical labor for it. And I'm just so out of shape that it's death to me. So that's the main thing. If I could just look at a board and just wipe off a section of it at a time until it's fully clean, yeah, I would enjoy that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely hilarious, and also he was a genius.
I was just gonna ask, are there any comments?
You had an emotional affair with your mower, Reddit. Yeah. Also, what's the age gap between you and this mower? Obviously, they're in a position of power over the mower. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, yeah. This is kind of what I'm thinking. I've got about 3 acres. You're welcome to come over and mow.
Right. I'm come mow my yard.
Oh
It
man.
looks like they live in a place where there's not a lot of neighbors, so they couldn't just mow their neighbor's lawn. I'm sure the neighbor would love it.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, also, I'm sure there's a part of it of like I'm not about to do someone else's work. Like this is also satisfying because
I
it's my
mean,
own yard.
It's a different thing if you're packing up, going to their house and doing it versus like they're literally right next to you. Might as well.
Yeah.
But looks like he doesn't have neighbors like that.
We can only hope that every person you hire to mow your lawn is like this, that they enjoy their job. But probably not.
Yeah. That story's just funny.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny is like this combined with my coworker telling me what he told me. It's like maybe I should try doing it one day. I know I won't like it. I'm like so sure I would not like mowing my own lawn.
I've never mowed a lawn in my life.
Yeah.
Neither of you.
Same. Yeah, I have not.
My dad many times was like, "Okay, today we're gonna show you how to mow lawn," and then it never happened. Maybe they made Taryn do it.
I got spoiled. I was the youngest brother of 3. The other 2 brothers mowed the lawn. I did not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with me too.
And then by the time like I would be, I guess, close to old enough to do so. For one, there was like usually another brother that was doing it, but then also I think around that time was when my parents started making enough to just hire someone to do it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened when we moved here. We had a bigger yard than normal, and than we used to because we had to get a bigger house because my grandparents moved in with us. So, and I guess around here there's like there's like a lot of companies that will do lawn mowing. So,
Yeah.
it was I think they paid for a while. I'm sure it went up now because this was 15 years ago, but I think it was like 10. No, not 10. That's crazy. I think it was like $40 for them to just come every 2 weeks or whatever. Anyway, that's a side note, but yeah. But that was when I was like at 16, 15. So I ended up not mowing the lawn.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those things like it's a crazy person that talks about how much they like their thing and I'm like, you know what, maybe I want to try the thing that I know that I won't like. Yeah.
At least once. I kind of feel bad that I've literally never even tried, but I have a feeling at this point in my life it would be such a horrible sensory experience. Like the grass flying everywhere.
Yeah, for you, there's no way.
The sound of the mower, the vibration, the heat on my back. I would probably have a meltdown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll probably have a meltdown.
If I ever do mow lawn myself, then I'll have to reference back to this episode.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll update one day.
Anyhow, all right, we're going to go ahead and move on to this last story.
Last story.
This is from r/am I the asshole? But like the full word. Whoa, there's multiple of these. Okay. I thought it was just r/AITA. But there's
AITA is the original. Am I the asshole? Then there's AITAH. And that one is created. It's kind of like those neighborhood groups that keep popping up. Like there's like 4 of them, but with all the same name. And they're like, this is the real one where we're allowed to say what we want. And there's not so many rules. And It's exactly like that.
So there's just like a million different Am I the Assholes because it's way too popular.
Yeah, there could be. There's also an Am I the Butthole. There's Am I the Bad Apple? And like some of them are like, there's a lot more rules. We stay nice here. We don't do cuss words. Like, it's really funny. Anyway.
Okay. Am I the asshole for kicking out my friend for referring to my wife as my partner? I'll keep this brief. My wife, Julia, and I have been married for a while. Julia. Anyway.
Another Julia.
It's the same Julia. There's a friend of mine at work, Aiden, who visited my house yesterday.
Wait. Pause. You said it's the same Julia? And I was like, it's the same Julia?
Okay. Gotta just clarify it's not the same Julia, probably.
We can just put a whole bunch of highlight clips of this video and be like, Teri, autistic? No.
Yeah, for real. There's probably going to be a compilation after some.
Yeah,
some
if we get fans, if we get enough fans, I mean, yes, all fans, make a compilation of all the autistic things I do and say.
Make more content for us. Do it. Okay.
Make sure you link back to our channel, though.
Yeah. All right. Anyway. Where were we? Yeah, my wife, Julie, and I have been married for a while. There's a friend of mine at work, Aiden, who visited my house yesterday. He had never seen Julia before, but knows that we are married. Just as this, when he saw her, his first response was, "Oh, so that's your partner, is it?" I was very much offended since I considered it a ridiculous term. I think it's both formal, which shouldn't be the case for a romantic relationship, and lacks warmth. I snapped, "No, she's my wife, Julia." Which, okay, that's what you're mad at? All right, anyway. Aiden seemed surprised and said, "Yeah, that's what I meant. She's your partner." I retorted by saying that I do not want him to use that term when referring to a relationship with me, since we are not business partners. Julia was offended as well. Now, I didn't want to make a big deal, but he just doubled down. He said he had no fucking idea what I am on about, or what I'm talking about, and that I cannot police his language. I asked him whether he thinks that a romantic relationship is just a business-like transaction. The upshot is that I demanded an apology, which he refused to give, and also continued spouting that garbage. In the end, I kicked him out. He called us crazy lunatics as he left. Some other people are mad as well. Am I the asshole?
There's a lot to unpack here as well.
Yeah. Why are people like... both sides is like the, like, no, I'm sticking to my stupid, like, you know.
Well, okay, I have a lot to say about this.
All right.
Because, okay, you have to think about, first of all, this guy, he is very rude about it. Like, just because he's not saying a phrase that you're used to doesn't mean he's trying to be rude to you.
Yeah.
That's just a normal thing. Nowadays, it's a lot more common for people to think of their significant other as a partner.
Yeah.
And it's inclusive language, which I think is the real problem.
Yeah.
They don't like that. But the thing is, like, a lot of people view relationships as a partner 50-50. They don't necessarily view it as like the whole gender norm business. They just view it as, you're my partner and we'll decide what's best for us together. And sometimes that's traditional, sometimes it's not. But like, I think a lot of times there's a lot behind when people say partner, because people are like, no, man and wife, you know what I mean? Because partner, if you think about it from 20 years ago, partner was like only what somebody would say when they were with same sex
couple. Yeah.
Or that's what you would hear, because they were 20 years ago, you really did not hear much about trans people at all.
Yeah.
Because they were, a lot of that was getting buried.
Yeah.
But
the idea of, like,
LGBT people were usually using the word partner.
Yeah.
And at the time, that was weird, because I think it was just starting to get normalized. You know what I mean? Now it's normalized, and a lot of people started using it to include like their heterosexual partner, and it's been used so much now it doesn't feel like it did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But in my personal opinion, this guy's living 20 years ago in his head.
I think it's yes.
Does that make sense?
It's also, I mean, there's always the question of like, is a person purposely not mentioning something he knows will get him hate, you know? He didn't mention anything about like, no wife because we're a straight relationship. Like, we're not.
Well, I agree. No.
Right?
I agree, but
like the logic that he's giving like seems kind of like, I can understand why someone would feel like that.
Well, let me explain what I mean. What I'm talking about is like the etymology of the word has changed.
Yeah.
Whereas back a while ago, it did kind of feel like that, because partner was just business, that kind of thing. So I can understand how at one point it would feel like that, but he's not up with the times, in my opinion, of like, oh no, partner is like partner in crime, partner in whatever, partner in life, and he's just thinking of it in the one way that he's thinking of it. You know what I mean? So to me, that's very old school. That's very
like I wouldn't
you're thinking of an old definition, and the etymology has changed. Just like, you know, lots of slang stuff has changed too. It started out as one word, and now it has an entirely different meaning. It's only been like 5 years.
Well, yeah, like it's still the idea. Like, it's not to say that like, oh, therefore partner is bad. I'm not trying to even argue that. And it's more just like, if this person feels like, no, like I have more like, partner feels more distant than wife, I refer to this person as my wife.
Right.
And
yeah.
like, that's a personal choice for them. It's a difference
That's
of
true.
like, you know, I think other people should do this, or like, get mad if someone else does that.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
For him himself, he's saying this. The wife agrees as well. Like, I don't want to be referred to as partner. I want to be referred to as wife, which is like, that's fine for their relationship. I think like the weird part on both sides was him to say this, to to be like, no, it's not partner, it's wife. And then the guy to be like, yeah, your partner. And then to like still just stay on it. Like, why are both sides being so stubborn about this? This still seems like a small thing of like, just drop it because he's not in your relationship.
To me, it sounds like the guy who said partner was confused as to why the guy was annoyed about it. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like there was a little bit of like, they're both taken aback. And then their communication skills just went down.
No, because he said he has no fucking idea what I'm talking about, and that I cannot police his language. So I think that like that's the thing, is he knows that like I know what you want me to say, but you can't tell me what to say. I'll say whatever I want. So like that's why both people seem
and they
like
were at his house too. I feel like
yeah. There's a friend of mine who visited my house yesterday. Yeah.
I do feel like it is more of an asshole behavior to just not just let the partner thing go. So if we're talking who's more of an asshole, obviously the original poster is an asshole, in my opinion. But I could see where you're coming from for the guy just drop it.
Yeah.
It. And
I'm still. I guess I am actually different from. I'm seeing most people here assuming that.
Well, what are people saying?
The very first, talk.
What's
comment,
the verdict, by the way? What is it?
In red, asshole.
Okay, you got to explain what that means.
Well, the overall verdict seems to be asshole. Going through comments too, especially the top comment, you're the asshole. As I'm baffled, you have friends and a wife. You lost your shit because he used a word commonly used for significant others. And you think partner is only business-like. What do you think gay people called their significant other when they couldn't get married? Partner. So you essentially just insulted all of them. Just because you have some weird hang-ups about a word doesn't make the definition of said word suddenly different. If he hadn't snapped from the get-go, he might have been more receptive to your request. Yeah. Which, then comes the question, because like someone responded to that, what do you think gay people call their significant other, partner? It's like, and saying like, I get the feeling it's part of why he's so annoyed by it. And so that comes that question, like, especially, is he like mostly against it because he's like, I don't want to be confused with the gays or something like that? Which case, super asshole. Well, and that's what it seems like it could be.
Somebody like that is not going to come out and say that because they know they're going to get hate.
Exactly.
But they're going to look for somebody to agree with them, either read between the lines and see what I'm actually saying, or you think partner is stupid, right? Yeah, it's too formal. Maybe, So I could see both ways. I don't want to extrapolate and assume that he's a bigoted, nasty person, but
it's also the general. I mean, I guess I just know I know some religious people and people with weird rules and stuff like that, and so still the idea of like, if you're at that person's house, it is not that hard for you going to a person's house to say wife instead of partner, and to still like fight for that and then be upset seems odd.
Well, like I said before, I think he was probably taken aback and was like, like, dude, like, it's just partner. And he was just trying to argue the fact that he wasn't trying to mean anything by it. So I don't think it was the fact that he was just trying to force his way. I think he was taken aback and then got defensive. And so I think this whole situation escalated to a ridiculous place. And they need to just walk away and realize that they're both okay. It's fine. It's okay.
And
the wife is not going to disintegrate
sometimes
and stop having sex with you because someone called her a partner.
I think it's just also, the fact that some people will just embellish. Because the real thing that's like me, throwing me off about the other guy is the phrase of that, you can't police my language kind of thing. Like, I cannot police his language. That one, if like, depending on how real that is, that's kind of a weird thing to say. But that's true. I want to do a little digging though. The user is called Far Oil. So, there's some potential here.
Potential for what?
For him being a terrible person. Ah, lame. This is the only post he's made. I wanted to see if he's like...
You want to see if he's on these like...
Other things being like, oh, I hate gay people or something like that.
And like pages.
Yeah. And
gay
it's
people
like...
suck.
And then it like answers, oh, this is why
gay
you don't like
people
partner.
are too pretty. I can't stand it.
Yeah. I'm upset at gay people because they make my wee-wee go up.
I was going to say something like that. I was immediately like, why do I feel tingly when I see gay people around? I hate them.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Look inward, sir. That's all I can say.
Well, that was an interesting ender. So yeah, thank you to my partner who provided these stories for us.
Excuse me, I am your fucking wife.
Yeah, police my language.
And I am fat as hell. And yes, it does affect my life. But it doesn't mean I'm ugly, okay?
She's still pretty.
And also, if you ever get a work wife, either you or them are fucking dead. And you can pick.
If I get real...
I'm kidding. That's like an actual like threat.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. Anyway, do you have any lasting words before we end?
This is fun. And also reading, it's fun.
You like doing the reading?
Yeah, because then I can stop in the middle and say whatever I want.
Oh, well, I like doing the reacting, so maybe we'll do more of that.
Okay.
Next week we actually are, because next week is Roy's birthday.
True. Yay.
I won't say the day, but it's his birthday. And we have a video going up a few days later, so.
So I'll get to pick some stories for the next time.
Yes, we're actually about to film that right now, so we can chop. We don't have a lot of time to edit. I mean, sorry, a lot of time to film and edit. So we're going to start filming in batches, 2, maybe 3 at a time. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any comments about these stories, let us know in the comments. And if you have any stories that you'd like to submit, please send them to our, what do you call it? We have a form. Google form. You can submit your Reddit story. Anyway, if you liked our video, please don't forget to like it, subscribe if you have not, please, and share with your friends if you want us to grow and be beautiful and be our partners.
Yes, if you want us to be both fat and beautiful, we need subscribers.
Fat and beautiful. I need money for my surgeries. I'm gonna go on the Swan. Wait, I don't think the Swan's still on. You guys know what the Swan is?
I don't even. What are you talking?
The Swan is a plastic surgery.
Oh my gosh, another one.
Reality show where they will do a total everything. They will do all your face, your nose job, your eyes, whatever they feel like you need. They'll also do your boobs, your tummy. They'll do everything like all at once in one surgery.
That sounds dangerous.
And and then people they're like do like a whole reveal about, oh, this is your new face, new body, everything. It's like, it's jarring, but I don't watch that show. Anyway, you guys learned something today.
Yeah.
Just so you know, before we leave, commenting helps boost the algorithm. So please comment, even if it's just like a little hearts. If you got this far in the video, comment 3 hearts.
Or comment a math formula and then I'll solve it and post the answer as a response because math is fun.
Okay. Don't hold him to that. He has a busy life. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.